Testing. Great. Ooh, I'm live. Awesome. Hey guys, welcome. Ooh, I'm gonna turn this on. Another video of mine. Today, I'm gonna talk to you guys about something pretty interesting. And maybe it's more of like the male side of the dating pool. Maybe it's less women. Optimism in a sea of dating opportunity. How can I find the one? Right? How can you? How can you find somebody? Right? Like, okay, cool. There's a person over there. I like them. I want to be with them. Or just the heartache question of not being single anymore, finding that person. Right? Um, there was thing. I guess guys, or I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think about it in a sense sometimes. Quite often actually. But then I bring myself back to the idea that you're in competition. There's so many. There's just so much opportunity now in the dating area. You can go on multiple platforms and websites and events where you can find people, and you're just one option of many. One option of many. And there's just so many options out there, and you may be thinking to yourself, whether you're a woman or a man, like, hey, how am I going to differentiate myself with the other people? How am I going to change my odds to better be in my favors? And so there's a couple of different ways that I see it personally that it just has always, I guess, worked out for me. And I'll tell you some stories. It doesn't always work out, what I'm about to tell you, the things that I've learned. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes no. Sometimes you realize, shoot, I wasn't the lucky one, and how to get over that, right? And so I like to see it as kind of like an hourglass, right? There's like that, and then there's that, right? There's two modes of thinking. There's the how do I differentiate myself from everybody that I'm competing with, which there is no competition. It really is just you and yourself to get the guy, to get the girl. It's just you, right? And there's the other mode of thinking, which is how do I just become me enough in a balanced place to just stand out like a shining sun I am amongst other shining suns? Because let's face it, let's just say you're you're a woman. Let's say your name is Janice Smith, and you got Rebecca and Victoria next to you on both sides. You don't want ill intentions for both of them. You want them to find the people that they're going to be with as well, because you want good. You want people to have happy ever afters, not just you. And so what I say is let them work themselves out, because it's always a you versus the world thing, right? Whether it's in business, your life, your success, whatever that success takes form, and in dating and finding somebody, right? And the way that I see it is, wish everybody well and be as you as you possibly freaking can. Um, be weird, be you, be unique, be who you want to be. Show that person your world, and if they don't see the value in it, you just move on. This year alone, me personally, I've just had that so many times. Initially, that whole uniqueness thing and being me and the shining sun works, but then, time and time again, I have people come and go, and they see the show and then they move forward. That's fine. That's cool. I think most of the women that I've been with in the past year, they just weren't in a good place to date. I think that if I had to qualify and give them like an overall analysis of where they are in life, I'd say that they're just working their ass off and they don't have time to date, and they're still figuring themselves out from their past history with other people, And then there's me, where I'm just like, hey, I'm ready. Are you ready? No, you're not. You ready? No, you're not. And so, but there's this issue with people, right? Regardless of gender, you're like, how do I get that person? How do I find that person? It's not necessarily about finding the person, but it's just overcoming the psychological struggles that we have in this space of dating. In a sea of opportunity one girl having pretty much all the access to guys out there, being able to click on whatever one they want and swipe whichever one they want and be able to get instant messages and play that. It's just there's more leverage, right? And you may see this as a guy, and you may, I'm just trying to think of the perception here. You may think, wow, man, like it's just really, dude, just be you. Just be you. That's all I have to say about that. I think that so many people try very hard. People get more process driven. They get lost within the, hey, hi, how are you? What's ups? Date this Friday. Okay, great. Right. Make it more casual, make it more memorable, make it more inviting, make it more lively, right? Don't just make it, all right, I got a date with you. I got a date with you this Friday, right? So like I'll give you guys an example of something that I've been thinking about, something that got to me the other day. It's just kind of, I had to step back and it's just kind of like, damn it, I knew I didn't do something right here. Or it's not like I didn't do anything right here, it's just I wasted my time. And more importantly, the other person's time. So I did. So I swiped somebody on an app. I forgot which one it was. And conversation was good. It like picked up like kind of slowly. It was like this, and then it kind of picked up, and then it picked up, and this is like the overall quality and connection. We're building rapport, and she's telling me stuff. And we finally, I finally, say, hey, like let's meet up. We'll go on a date. We'll make a day out of like, all this stuff going around downtown, whatever. And this probably has happened to a lot of you guys. If you're talking to somebody and then you set up plans, for some reason, to some people, it means, okay, great, I don't have to talk to this person until that time. And so that's what happened is I talked to this girl, and for about 4 or 5 days, about 6 days, maybe almost a whole week like literally the day of, I had not talked to her and kind of tried to throughout the week to just, keep building rapport. And what I'm here to say to you is it has to be fluid. And I'm very aware when it's not fluid. I'm very aware of when, excuse me, you're not, there isn't like a natural dynamic. You're just kind of the interaction's predicated on, just dating conventions. And, like I just didn't talk to this girl. And then that day I'm like, hey, like we have this date later, and she's just like, yeah. And, little unbeknownst to me, she was tired as hell, showed up tired, didn't even look like she wanted to be there. Looked like she was just trying to kill time. When I look back at the situation, as mad as I was about wasting my own time, I was more mad at the fact that I didn't say through text, hey, we didn't like, instead of saying, hey, are we still on for later, right? Because that's me thinking like the opportunity, right? It's new. I should have said, hey, we didn't talk all week, and I kind of tried a couple times. I just don't think you're really that interested in me to where it's gonna, we're gonna reciprocate the value of our time. And it seems like you're tired, you're still at work, and I just don't think that we prepared for this date at all. And so a lot of people think that you can just go to a date and it work out, where it's really like you have to set up everything correctly, right? It's got to be natural. It's got to be like the most successful dates that I've ever had have come from just relentless rapport building because you wanted to build rapport, and relentless seeing each other because you wanted to see each other. There is something there versus trying to make garbage into gold, right? And I think that too many people try to make garbage into gold, and you should really stay away from that as much as possible. That's more living in the category of trying to be something that you're trying to amount to versus just being the unique you that you already are, right? Don't be the lower hourglass, be the higher hourglass, be the hourglass that's being like, I'm just going to be me. And if this person isn't going to kind of, work with me in what should happen, like I'm saying right now, it's not going to work out. Like people got to like you, and you shouldn't feel bad for them not liking you. That just means that great, one down, another one bites the dust, somebody else will. And it kind of helps you not get attached in the beginning. It kind of helps you just kind of weed people out. You should always be open to opportunities, but you should always be closed off opportunities just don't seem like they're a good fit. And there is like this thing though. They say that you should go on multiple dates. You really should. And I think that's kind of what upset me about this one person is that this girl showed up tired, showed up late. There wasn't that much communication. We didn't do all the precursors of what I normally do when I get to know somebody, which is, you text, you talk, and you do like maybe like a live thing to kind of build on that rapport, just so the other person knows what they're getting involved with, because it's, we have technology. You should be able to communicate in all three ways before a date. You should already kind of be very familiar with the other person by the time you go on this date. And if you're not being that qualitatively driven, if you're not being that quality, if you're not striving for that quality with every person, then maybe you're not looking for an actual relationship. Maybe you're not looking for things to move forward. Maybe you're just being more casual. And again, that's fine. But be honest if that's where you are. You always have to be honest. And I think what I was trying to get to, in this example, is at the end of the date, texted her the next day. She's like, "Hey, thanks for the other night. It was fun," which it wasn't. And even though we did have fun, I had fun. She clearly did not. She was like, "I just want to be friends." She's like, "Is that okay with you?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not really looking to make any more friends, but thanks for asking." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I understand." And that whole understand part kind of gets to me because she knew that she was wasting both of our times. And if we had just done it right, if she had just committed more into the space that she's in, because if you're not going to be dating and actually take it seriously, then you're actually kind of disrespecting other people's times. And I've known a lot of women to do that. I know a lot of men to do that. It's bad on both sides in different ways. And I just don't think it should exist. So, I mean, if you just set up precursors, if you just stay yourself, be unique, right? You stay open to opportunities, but you make sure that they are relevant to you. There's nothing wrong with turning things down. There's nothing wrong with if it doesn't feel right, don't move forward. This whole opportunity thing that we're living in, and it's almost like what do we do with all of it? I just say, be as qualitative as possible, right? Like, they say that guys swipe like all day, like to everything on these apps, but it's not, just try and find the 5 out of the thousands that the guy will swipe, right? Don't swipe on every one. Just, as an example, just swipe metaphorically, like choose, be qualitative and see what happens, and, it's kind of cool because within all the dating app crap, right? There are good things on dating apps. Millennials are waiting longer to date, to settle down. They're being more decisive. They're being more research driven and experienced, which I think it's important for your growth, for your future with somebody. But there's also people are meeting each other that are way more relevant to them online versus offline. Right? Usually people stick with either work-related individuals, going out to the bar, maybe events here and there. Nobody ever takes me up on my advice of, hey, you have a list of hobbies that you have, go do those with a lot of people at random events and see who you find, right? Law of attraction, but, nobody does those as much as they should. Maybe you're not in a populated or a dense populated area where you just have like a pool meetup or a psychology meetup or a philosophical meetup or badminton meetup or whatever you're into. You may not have that luxury of having just a surplus of people in the area that also like to go on random event in entourages and meet new people. Not everybody's like that, but you do have tools at your disposal. And I think that a lot of people utilize dating apps and websites in the wrong ways. And I would just say, like, you can even look at it like this. If you see dating apps and dating like a business, and you're looking for you're not looking to sell customers, right? Because that's the wrong impression that I'm giving. But let's just say you're in a business for finding just that one customer, right? And you're on dating apps, you're using these tools as finding potential customers to that one. Your business trying to find just one customer, which would be your life partner, right? Now, the way that I see it, is you as a business, you got to stand out. You're screening all these potential customers for that. Obviously you're looking for one, and it's about me. It's about having the perfect fit, right? It's like you're making like, you know what's really cool? I think about this one fish, right, that I saw on some Facebook video, right, on Facebook, and it's a fish that literally spends like a week, literally a week, like creating this design in the sand for another fish to come over and say, "Hey, I like your design," and it's like the only fish that knows how to do it. Yeah, sure, man. Go on, Daniel. But anyway, so to end that point, um, there's this fish that just goes all along the water and creates this huge design to find that one fish. And I just think that more people need to be doing that. I think people need to be creating their own little microcosm space within the dating area. So when people are swiping you, they go, "Holy crap, that person! There's something going on there." And when people meet you, they go, "Oh my god, this guy or this girl knows exactly what the fuck's going on with what she wants." You know, make people work for you, and so make it just being so unique creates the back and forth, the healthy back and forth, not the games. Because if you're just playing the games, and then you're not really doing much of anything. You're just wasting people's time, and you're not being real. And there's lack of communication. There's just tons of not good things. So, yeah, the way that I would see it, guys, is there's a sea of opportunity, right? Sea of opportunity in dating, but finding the right one, it's really really about just being you, not letting these psychological barriers get to you. Like, there's so many people that I might be competing against, or if you're a guy, I know girls probably might not think that way, but or how do I spark that one? I'm seeing this girl I'm dating. How do I move to the next steps? Dude, just be you. Be organic. Be authentic. Be yourself. Show the other person your world. If they don't like it, now you don't. I mean, I'm not saying just kind of like throw it all up on the person. Give to that person as it should be, as it comes. But at the end of the day, you just want to go with the flow. Make sure you're dancing together. Make sure there's back and forth. Make sure you're both relevant to one another. Make sure that you're swiping on people that make sense to you, that you can see yourself being with visually, maybe what they wrote. Definitely before you meet that person, anybody, right? Make sure they're relevant to you. Make sure you're communicating in at least two of those three ways. And that you're talking when you set dates. You meet them, and you make the most of your time with that person. All right, so I do have a user submitted question, which I don't get too often, but I will do it because it's another me, Daniel Cristianto, and that is: how do you move on from your ex-girlfriend if she dumped you and she really don't want you back? Like, she said enough. Well, dude, first of all, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. But that kind of just goes along with what I'm saying. Even from the beginning, if you had met this, go back in time and ask yourself if you went through like a really good dating phase, right? Did you guys build rapport enough from the beginning? Did you give yourself enough idle time? I don't know your exact situation, but the way that I would see it is she dumped you, which pretty much means that you guys weren't really as connected as you may have thought you were, right? She was still probably getting up there, but as she got up there, she was slowing down because she just didn't see things that she wanted, which is, dude, it totally makes sense. It happens on both sides. But you have to remember, it could have been a vast amount of different things that could have led to her not wanting to be with you anymore. But and she said, if she says like that's like she said enough, then like you're really turning her off, or she's just really done with that and moving on. And who knows what she's doing now. But what's more relevant to you is this person didn't want, I know you're a guy, so this is what I always say to you, very basically. If you are a metaphor for a ship, right, and she jumped on your ship and she left the ocean with you, she's choosing to jump off the ship into the water because apparently she sees something better in the water than being on your ship. Okay. And so the way that I would see it is if she saw something so good where if you're in the middle of the ocean, you're on your ship, you guys set sailed, i.e. the relationship, and she saw something in the water that is like, I gotta leave. I've had enough of the ship, and she just jumped over. Maybe she saw an island that she wants to swim. She wants to swim to, or maybe she saw another boat, another ship out on the water. Who knows? But what I would have to say is, man, don't worry about her abandoning ship. Just go back to port and look for another woman who wants to go back out on the ocean with you, i.e., relationship. Because the direction that you're going in life, it's not for everybody, right? Not every woman will support you in you and in your journey and in what career and career path that you've chosen and what your passions are. But there will be a woman out there who will just like you for you and appreciate you and support you in the direction you want. And that's all it is. It's that black and white. And I honestly think that you deserve the best. And I think that even though you're still getting over everything with this woman, just wish her the best. Hopefully, just hope that her decision to just be like, I see something better in the water and jump overboard. Just make sure that just be supportive that whatever she's going after is in her best interest, because that's all it is. We're just making decisions. And one day, this girl that you were with woke up and was like, I don't want to be with Daniel anymore. And so that's what I would tell you, man. It's all about decisions. She didn't want to be on your ship anymore. You can't blame her if you didn't want to be on a woman's ship. Then you're gonna jump off. It's just a matter of being relevant. And you may think she's still relevant to you, but the thing is, while you're here missing her, there's another woman out there missing the fact that she hasn't met you yet, and she's looking for you. And I would get back out there, or I would just kind of take some time and understand who you're becoming now that you guys have separated, and think about how she's changed your life, and then move on. That's what I would do. But I know this video is getting there a little bit. Thanks again for the people who are watching and then who have watched. Thank you, Daniel Cristianto, for that really great question. And some updates. I have that Discord channel up now on a link that never ends. So you can join the Discord chat, and I'm always kind of logged on, but I'm not always on. I'm like working, but when I'm back, I'll be on it. And I'm thinking about starting a new series called Quora Questions, which is, if you don't know what Quora is, Quora. It's just pretty much like a Yahoo Answers, but Quora, and they have dating, relationship, and all different kinds of subtopics that I want to answer. If you think that's a good segment to create, let me know. If you have any questions for me that you want me to answer, let me know. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.